let's run through these stories. Last week I sat on a couple of things and I probably shouldn't have done. I knew there were problems with Steve Austin last week. The problems pertain to doing the proper match, what they wanted him to do, wanted him to return on the 14th of March in Jacksonville. He thought he wanted to return in Dallas, Texas for the bigger pop. Just differences over music and whatnot. This music
right. Why would you have him
one.
coming to Jacksonville, Florida, when you can have him show up in Texas? And the whole thing.
Proper rating.
They wanted to set the angle up on TV this Monday on the 14th. But
no, I understand that, but I'm more with Steve. I would just have him show up in Texas. But go ahead.
Yeah, so there were problems with a lot of things going into this. So what we've ended up with is the announcement we've ended up with. This still doesn't put an end to the fact it's a match, because they're turning around and going. When he accepted, he said, "I don't know if this is a match or a brawl or whatever." So I don't actually know what they're going to do. WWE are desperate for him to have a match, and I feel like he himself wants to put a marker down and say, "Hey, this is what I can do. If Saudi wants to pay for it, Saudi will pay for it. But otherwise, it just could end up being a stunner and nothing else." But yeah, the problems were happening for a few weeks in terms of disagreeing about how they were going to go. As for being in shape, he's in shape because he knew this wasn't something that they asked him to do. Jim Ross said something about, he would need like loads and loads of notice. They've known that they were going to be doing something with Austin since I reported it on this show back in October, where I said Steve Austin's going to be doing something big at WrestleMania. So it's not a case of not having the notice, and it's not a case of not being in shape. He's in shape, but it's just a case of disagreeing about how they're going to do this.
Yo, what up? This is Konnan, and I host Keeping It 100, my co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!